Hey there. So I thought it'd be really fun to share something that my brother and I love so, so much. And it's something that we really connect on, and that is movies. So movies have been such a huge part of our lives. In fact, when we were little, my parents were separated. So every time we went to visit my dad, the thing that we always did with him was go to the movies. So there wasn't a weekend where we didn't go see a movie or, watch a movie or, whatever. Anyway, it was one of my dad's favorite things as well. And so what I wanted to do is actually have my brother on here and share with you the top 5 favorite movies and some of the different movies that we loved throughout the years and just some of our thoughts. So stay tuned and hope you enjoy. All right. Hello, everyone. So I have a special guest with me today on my channel. This is Bob Evans, my brother. So
Hello.
hello. So Bob is joining us from his lovely home. So this is real life, guys.
Hi,
So
Kitchen.
obviously you might see some children running by. You might see some birds or cats or chickens,
Probably.
all kinds of fun stuff. But anyway, so I wanted to get my brother on here to really talk about something that actually we're both very passionate about, and that is movies, right? I love doing searching online, what, awesome movies to check out, things like that. But I really got me wondering, and I'm like, you know what? I never really asked you, okay? Because I know obviously you're a fellow movie buff, what your favorite, your top 5 movies were. And we never really chatted too much about it. So again, I thought we could kind of share this with everybody. People might, hear videos that or films that you've never seen before. And maybe it'll inspire you to go check it out. Or, maybe you've seen them all and maybe you agree or disagree. So anyway, share in the comments
Well,
below your thoughts and definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you can check out more videos like this. So let's kick it off with the first question, which plain and simple is, share with me your one of your favorite movies. In fact, don't even share like 5. Yeah.
I do have a list here, okay, and this is
Oh.
my top 5 favorite movies. And what we need to focus on first is that my list is correct, and sister, your list is not correct. Okay, to start this off, my taste in movies. So it should really come to as no surprise that my all-time favorite movie is a Quentin Tarantino favorite. I know you like it, but Pulp Fiction is probably my all-time number one favorite movie.
Wow, that's the number 1 spot too. I mean, I can't even argue with that. I mean, you know how we feel about that movie. It's so good. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right. And the portrayal of some gangsters in the seedy LA background. And how the chain of events, just unfolds, and it unfolds not even in a chronological, order. It was a very skilled story, and I think Quentin Tarantino did an absolutely amazing job with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, obviously we were probably too young when we first saw it, but I remember watching it and
Yeah,
thinking
yeah, we were the
Quentin Tarantino's style of directing is just like insane. I mean, it's so good. And in fact, I remember watching him a few years ago and he was saying how upset he was. He was like, more people need to get out and direct movies. Like, guys, we're running out of great ideas and unique thinkers and things like that. And I just love his style of directing because
sure,
it's
yeah.
so different. I do. I love the timeline, how they move things all around and how it was done.
So, what's your number one movie then? you know?
Oh man. All right. So it's so hard for me. Well, first off, I had to actually sit down. So I don't know if anybody else's brain is like this too. Whenever someone sits down and says, "Hey, what's your favorite movie you've seen in the last like," and it's like, "Oh my God, I
Sure.
can't, like my brain cannot, I can't even remember like what I did yesterday." It's gonna sound so cliche because I feel like it's so like whatever. I mean, I really, as a kid, and even I haven't seen it, really over 30 years of age. But the movie Shawshank Redemption,
Okay.
with Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins. I mean, I thought that movie was just so well done. It was so good. The acting.
For a second there, I was really kind of afraid that you were going to say The Land Before Time. Okay, and
Oh, Tree Stars.
but the Shawshank Redemption. I mean, that's a great movie that actually puts you through the through every emotion, and you just feel so bad for the guy. Then you feel so good for him when he comes out on top, and that's such a powerful story.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was a really great one. I love the character building in that one, and love, like, I mean, the overall story was just fantastic. So what is your number two?
So number two, and like I tried, like I have so many favorite movies, but like I tried to actually pick and choose from the different genres, and so my number two is a comedy, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 3. Okay.
Man, I totally forgot of, oh my God, I totally forgot
How
about
can you
that.
forget that?
Uh-huh. All right. So little backstory. Yeah, my brother, so obviously Bob, and my cousin Josh, we used to watch The Evil Dead, all the movies, every time we would visit.
Again, we probably saw those movies way too young.
Yes,
That
we totally did. In fact, I used to like stay up at night, and like I was so bad. Like I like couldn't go to the bathroom, and I would, yeah, anyway, it was awful because I was so mortified. But Army of Darkness was hilarious. It was actually, I mean, not just like a horror movie. In fact, I don't even know that it was a horror movie. It was more of a comedy. For anyone who's watched
exactly.
it, get smart, get S smart.
Shop smart, shop S smart.
And then like the chain, or what was it, the chainsaw as a hand, and he actually had a shotgun too at one point or something.
That movie, it just gave us so many great quotes, and like it just took Evil Dead in a totally different direction from horror movie to horror comedy, and I thought that was a great transition. Bruce Campbell,
Oh,
you
good.
either love him or you absolutely hate him. I love him, and like I thought that was a Sam Raimi genius success right there.
Yeah. So my number two, totally random. I know, like, and I'm probably gonna have a whole nother list of five, next week when you ask me. But my
Sure.
number two is Pan's Labyrinth. Okay, and
Mm.
I'm gonna get real dark for a
Oh
second.
man,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a
So
dark movie, man. That
yeah. So for anyone who hasn't watched that, I mean, it sounds all fun and games. It's not the Labyrinth, not the Jim Henson, version. It is definitely a very dark, I think, but who directed that? That was Del
that was
Toro.
a that was a Guillermo del Toro
There
movie.
we go. Guillermo del Toro, and it was subtitled. So I actually remember I was up in Massachusetts visiting, and Josh, my cousin, actually put it on for me. And again, probably too young to watch that movie, but I remember watching it and reading the subtitles and just getting lost in the movie. And, again, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I mean, it's such a deep, dark, kind of a twisted story. It was almost like an Alice in Wonderland type, story. And it was how this girl kind of separated her life because it was so awful in times of war, like with this fantasy world. And I just remember feeling like, whoa, this is so crazy.
I do agree it was a very powerful movie, and but it was so dark that I could not get into it, and like the whole movie, I just felt so bad for the little girl. But how Guillermo del Toro, how he shot the movie was absolutely breathtaking. Like he
Yeah.
he did an amazing job. But I have pretty strong feelings in the opposite direction. That it was just so depressing.
Dark.
I could not get into it.
What is your number 3?
My number 3, and I really had to think about this, but I really still really feel strongly that Last of the Mohicans. Okay, that is a movie that I go back every once in a while, and I have to watch it. And each time I watch it, like just the cinematography, the acting, Daniel Day-Lewis was absolutely phenomenal in it, and the music was just everything about it it just made it an absolutely phenomenal movie. So I'm gonna have to say number 3, Last of the Mohicans.
Okay, you know what? That's one that I'm actually gonna have to check out again because I saw that one so long ago. I mean, we're talking like I can't even remember it. So I'll have to check that one out. So number 3 for me. So actually, again, we're kind of like in line with some of our like, themes of our movies a little bit. Well, or mine was a little dark, but this one is one that I watched every single night whenever I was away at college. Every single night. I don't even know why. It was so weird. I just put this
I know what
on.
you're gonna say.
It was like home to me. Actually, I'll let you guess. But I put it on. It was literally like I watched it like every single night. I don't know why. But do you know what it was?
I'm gonna take a guess, and I'm gonna say your number 3 is The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, yes. All right. So Mom, I think somebody made me watch it. I don't know if it was you or if it was Mom, but somebody made me watch the one. And we're talking about The Count of Monte Cristo, the 2002 version with Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce.
Sure.
Like that's the one that I'm referring to. But I remember, do you remember when LimeWire was a thing where you could download free like music and stuff?
Yeah. You got to be careful talking about that. And
Yeah, well, it was years ago, right? Whenever those streaming services were available. And I remember I was kept trying to search for, The Count of Monte Cristo. And of course, got a couple inappropriate videos also in the mix or whatever. But, downloaded, it was such a good movie. It was like such a awesome story
really
of like
was.
revenge and you have this person who's like sentenced to death and living away in this prison, and then he breaks out and then he just gets the ultimate revenge and finds out what's really important. But anyway, that movie was like home to me. I just watched that again and again. So we are on to number 4. What is your number 4?
Number 4, I'm not sure you're gonna agree with this one, but
like Super Troopers or something.
My number 4 is Mad Max Fury Road.
Wow.
And I'm a gearhead, like yeah. I'm really into cars and actually building them. So every gearhead who saw Mad Max Fury Road, it just really takes the essence of what it's like to restore cars or build a car, how you want to build it. And it's like everybody who left the theater after seeing that, everybody left there wanting to go and build one of those cars, and it just hit me at that at the manly level. I am a fan of the original Mad Maxes, Road Warrior, Beyond Thunderdome, but like I think that it was a good mix of cool story, good characters, and special effects on top of it.
Wow. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, I remember seeing that in theater and it was just like an experience. It was like, holy cow. Like I don't know if I saw that
in for this ride.
Yeah, I saw it on the whatever screen that's like God, I can't even think about it. IMAX. I think I saw it on IMAX. And I mean, the music, the intensity, the noise, everything was so great. Plus it had Charlize Theron in it. She's awesome. My number 4. So I wrote so many down. I'll kind of share my runners up too. But I would say, so I had surgery in, God, I don't know if it was like middle school going into high school. Actually, I had surgery a couple times. And the one time Mom went out and she got me like a bunch of classics. And she was like, these are movies you have to see, right? And in that stack, right, there was like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There was The Goodbye Girl. There was Breakfast at Tiffany's. Better Off Dead. All these different movies. And I would say, like, out of all of them, I mean, I loved all of them. But the one that really, really stood out to me, I loved The Goodbye Girl. And that was the one with Richard Dreyfuss. And I don't know, something about that movie. I just loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And as a kid, I just really enjoyed it.
I have only seen bits and pieces of it, and I should probably go back and actually watch the whole thing. But I do love Richard Dreyfuss, and I have heard. I do remember Dad loved that movie also, and so I should definitely go back and watch it.
Yeah, it might have been me loving that movie and buying it for him, like, because I just went really into that. But yeah, no, I loved it so much.
Sure.
So yes, so that's The Goodbye Girl with Richard Dreyfuss. It was so cute. It was like basically like two people, were going in to live in this apartment, and they both had been sublet, by the same person, and they need to work that out, and then they fall in love and stuff like that. So anyway, it's really cute. All right, number 5.
Okay, number 5. I really had to think about that because there's so many movies I like, and the top 3 were easy, but I really had to think about what do I want for number 5 here, and I came down with Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Wow.
The original Terminator, it was a great movie, scared the crap out of me. That and like Dad showed it to me way too young. The original Terminator, it didn't quite have the special effects that it needed, and so it kind of came off as kind of campy. But then James Cameron, he stuck with it, and then Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It was a great cross between a great story and amazing modern special effects that, like I thought, really made it worthy of a top five movie, especially if you're an action fan.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's what we should do, a whole separate video on like our top Arnold Arnold movies, like Commando. Sure. And like all those.
It was so cool how they did. There was a broken window, and the liquid metal guy, he just kind of molded his way like through the broken window, and it's like, wow, we had never seen anything like that up until that time. And that just, imagine, like you have a Terminator after you, you're in trouble, but you have, the T-1000, liquid metal. How are you going to get away from that guy? That actually took that story to a whole other level.
So number 5 for me, so on my top 5 was Pulp Fiction as well. But okay. I wanted to share a couple runner-ups and to just also see your thoughts if you've seen all these ones. We've got Forrest Gump.
Great movie. Sure.
Right. Yeah. So I know that's on a lot of people's, I think it's on Scott, my husband's, top list too. That was just really well done. Great soundtrack, by the way, Forrest Gump soundtrack. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Obviously that was a classic. Let's see. Interstellar
with Matthew McConaughey.
Yep. I mean, they talk about like the theory of relativity and time travel and like all kinds of stuff. I thought that was cool.
Amazing movie. I thought all the way up until the ending. And that's what really kind of ruined it for me when he came back and he was his own. He was the person who had sent himself the messages, and it was great all the way up until the ending. I felt, and you obviously feel different, but
yeah. About Time. I don't know if you ever saw that one. It's got Rachel McAdams in it. It's kind of a chick flick, but it's also about time travel.
I saw the first like 20 minutes of it, and I think the kids came in, and I had to run. But should I give it a try?
Yeah, I would say, because, one of the questions I always think of is like, what is a movie that has like changed your perspective on life, or made you kind of think deeper about something? And that movie, About Time, rocked my world, because basically the whole movie is about how all the men in the family, in this one family, can go into a closet and then look down and they can go back in time. so they can jump. And so basically you can jump like to whenever you want. So if something bad happens, you could literally jump back in time and then relive that moment and make things not happen. But one thing that the dad like connects with him and says, you know, I jumped, and he basically shares with him. He was like, yeah, I jumped here, I jumped there, I did this, I did that. And he's like, oh my God. His dad kept saying that he kept jumping back to this one time where it was him and they were having time together, you know, father and son, and they were playing ping pong. And he goes, I jump back to that moment every day, like just because I love it so much, you know, because we get to spend time together or whatever. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing our top 5 favorite movies. We got lots of awesome movies that we talked about. If you guys haven't seen them yet, check them out. And yeah, I'll share all the different ones that we talked about in the show notes as well.